The green light goes on and a very crucial session gets underway here at the Bud International Circuit. Hello everybody watching live on Twitch and everybody watching on the YouTube channel with the premiere after. Welcome to practice for the Indian Grand Prix. 1 hour, 10 minutes, that's 70 minutes total that we have now for the riders to get used to this circuit. But doing so, go forward knowing the price that right now this is it, because we have the format to go forward to where the top 10 will automatically qualify for Q2, and after that as well we then have to go into the process of knowing who will go in Q1. So fastest times count on a brand new circuit that many are yet to learn and yet to finalise. It could be quite an interesting run. Let's go over then to TNT and get their thoughts. Good afternoon to you chaps.
Maybe he's finally getting to grips with riding a MotoGP bike, but for him to be fourth in a session, only 3/10 off, will be good for his confidence.
Down at the end of the straight. In fact, when we were out on the straight yesterday, Sylvan, we felt the bumps in the car, didn't we, as we were going down there. Again, that doesn't seem to be too much of an issue as what we might have expected.
No, it's not bad. The riders have not complained. They've said that on the braking point there is a little bit of a dip, a little bit of a bump into the track, but nothing that they can't work with. So yeah, it's looking, I must say, the track is looking good. They've done a good job. You know, at getting it ready, and you can see there's a few bumps, but the bikes now with the rear drop, with the rear high devices and all the aero, it makes them more stable in a straight as well. So these bikes in a straight are just absolutely glued to the ground. And
we heard Fabio Quartararo's bike cut out twice on the straight earlier today. Gearbox issue is what I was reading. What's happened there then? I don't understand.
Well, it seems like it's definitely two gearbox issues, and I mean those gearboxes are quite fragile, the seamless gearboxes, but normally with they just require a lot of servicing, and the manufacturers stay on top of it. So it seems like for some reasons the Yamaha here is damaging their gearboxes, so they've had a lot of work to rebuild all that.
So the conditions out there look interesting as we get into the swing of the session here with the practice session. The riders out there, many of them on medium front, medium rear tyres. In terms of those who have soft fronts, it's Maverick Vinales, Jack Miller, Fabio Di Giannantonio. Those with soft rear tyres, Ralph Hernandez, Brad Binder, Michele Pirro, Marco Bezzecchi, and Jorge Martin has got a hard rear tyre in as well, the only one to do so on those fronts. So they are going to just attempt to see what it's like out there, just got to see what the conditions are, what's the best thing to do, and learn about what is to them a brand new circuit here, the Bud International Circuit. We've, of course, Formula One raced here in 2011, 2012 and 2013, but MotoGP have never ever been here, so there's a huge learning curve.
There's less data for them to work with.
4 different manufacturers in the top 4 earlier. Top Ducati was Bezzecchi, and it was the Honda of Marc Marquez, the KTM of Brad Binder, and the Aprilia of Ralph Hernandez, ahead of the Aprilia of Maverick Vinales. And then you had the Yamahas of Quartararo 19th and Morbidelli 21st. So it looks like Yamaha on a sticky wicket this weekend. Here's Aleix Espargaro. He was 13th fastest earlier today.
It sounded like the test wasn't positive as well for Yamaha, the Misano test on the Monday after the Misano race. Obviously,
looks like Jack Miller might have had a spill.
Miller's down. Well, Jack Attack's gone down. I've got a yellow flag out. So where's Jack Attack gone down? It is, I heard Sylvain Cattoni say turn 12. It is. And front dipped away from it. So remember Pol Espargaro this morning in the first session, it's exactly the same as what's happened. He'd be able to get it out of the gravel trap and push it away, hops back on, and the bike gets going straight end to the end of the pit lane. So thumbs up there. But a bit of a wiggle start to the session. Martin looking quick, but time's coming through, changing again.
35 degrees, pretty vital.
You'd want fresh and cool water as well after a few hours, wouldn't you? Because it's very hot out there, and it's humid. You know, it's got that feel like just like in Malaysia or in Suzuka Tower. You know, you sweat a lot because of the humidity, and it feels like it feels heavy. it's hard work for the riders, this, and for the marshals, obviously.
Yeah, of course, sat out there all day. Camera operators out there, out all the way through the day. So, yeah, that was one of the problems. There weren't enough marshals in a few of the posts. Straight away, Jack Miller has to come back in. As Pecco Bagnaia started the day down in 15th place.
It didn't sound, just whilst they're building up to speed, it didn't sound like Honda or Yamaha found, let's say, a step that they were hoping for. We know that actually both manufacturers are looking for quite a big step.
The way that Marc Marquez spoke, for example, from a Honda point of view, and this is after the Misano test, following the race, that, yeah, there were things, but basically nothing, not a revolution. And he said, look, they have more time. They've got time until we get to Valencia at the end of the year. They've got time until the start of next season. But when you're trying to hold on to a rider, I think what he did say, Marc Marquez, was there were a lot more engineers, and you could see, couldn't you? They had brought a lot more into the garage, and maybe there'll be more to come in terms of the rumour was, what we'd heard, that he was hoping they'd poach some of the top guns around other manufacturers.
Which still might be the case.
Because you're not going to see it in mid-season,
exactly, that still could be the issue. And if at this point he's still waiting for some of those, let's say...
Gigi Dall'Igna, or Romano Obeziano, or whoever.
If they're still potentially waiting for some of those deals to be confirmed, that could be part of this. We're in the holding pattern. We're circling, waiting to hopefully get to land at some point. So
yeah. Now what's Bagnaia got to on the Ducati at the moment? Just turning in, and where's he on the board? Well, he was 11th he was 12th this morning, remember, Bagnaia, and he's yet to improve. So he is going to struggle a lot as well to get into the top 10. That's something we've got to watch. Bagnaia at the moment is on medium front, medium rear tyre. So it's a bit shaky, that, in my books. I'm thinking it's going to be a bit different. Whether or not he'll progress, as everyone at Ducati looking stern-faced still ahead. Gigi Dall'Igna watching on. As Jorge Martin just knocking the front, up by a tenth and a bit at the moment as well. He's on the hard rear tyre, remember. As I said, the only rider to do so. So whether or not that's paying something out of it, we don't know. But estimated P1 at the moment as he comes out of the last corner. He'll boot it in, giving it a real bit of a squeeze on the throttle. Accelerate hard. And Martin will go fastest. No! It's 8th. It's a 10th off. He's lost a lot of time in that last sector. Quartararo goes up into 3rd position. So a lot of times straight off the back here. Aleix Espargaro goes into 4th place.
Like Craig Jones' corner. And then we go up to the top here. And it's how it plateaus. And the first part of the apex there, you can see how Martin actually hit it.
This is a little bit like Kimi Ring. The first part of Kimi Ring is like that. So you got a bit of a straight, a right turn, and then you go up, like really up, a left turn, break into a very slow hairpin and a massive straight. So
is it a nice track, that?
Kimi Ring was...
That's the Finnish one, by the way, that people who don't know. The Finnish track that was supposed to be on the calendar last year and then all fell apart, financial reasons.
Yeah, so we all went testing there, actually. All the testing went to do to collect some data for Michelin for the tires and to have a look at the track. So it was very, very early days, but the track was like the tarmac, everything was completed, and it was an interesting track. The first bear was really nice, and then the second bear was kind of like really tight for MotoGP.
Yeah, my understanding was on that, and you'll be able to say, having been there, we had ever seen maps that on a map it looks fantastic, and you look at it and you think, oh, like here you look at the track and you're not quite sure what you're going to get. Because you don't know if the S's are S's or vice versa. But it was a track built to 2/3 scale. I remember speaking to Bradley Smith about it. That's pretty much what he said. They made it full size, it'd be perfect, but it was just a little bit
What was it like, any track that we go to? Or a bit like this?
Yeah, the first part
was a dive attacking on Augusto.
It's made that stick, yeah?
Yeah.
So first part was nice and open and felt very MotoGP-ish. And then you have this massive straight. Like
this is going to be messy.
Oh, Marquez! Yeah, Bezzecchi.
And
so we're going to see some dive bombs here, aren't we?
course we are.
Yeah. I think that's the beauty. They've got this track. The layout's
Andy.
good. Here we go. Oh, but is this Mark going? Let's have a look at you then.
They're on board there with Bez.
So that Ducati fires out the slow turns, doesn't she, with that rear high device?
Another track that I've raced on that's exactly the same as what you've just explained, Gav, is the Barber Motorsport.
Oh yeah.
In America.
Birmingham, in Leeds, Alabama, isn't it? Birmingham.
In Birmingham, Alabama. It's a superb track. If you could just...
But didn't they have more space to work with?
They're quite a lot. If you could just increase the size of it all. But the layout, the track, it's like it's 2/3 scale.
I feel like we're going to see that in the race. I feel like that's one of the moves, isn't it? Where it's a bit like 1 and 2 in Barcelona almost. You know, you go that little bit deeper and someone will then
do the cutback.
Yeah.
So it's getting good then, this session.
Segments.
And this is Bagnaia down in towards turn number 1 on the brakes as well. Rear the Ducati stepping out. Now he's jumped up into 6th place with a 1:47.110. So he's on the benchmark times at the moment to look good and look faster. But this session is going to be, I think, 2 halves. First 45 minutes, we're going to see everyone just getting up to terms, doing some banker lap times, getting race simulations in, because this is the same time we'll be racing on Sunday. And then, bang, later on, we're going to be off and running and riding. In terms of the last 20 or so minutes, it's going to be qualifying basically for tomorrow. And I can't wait. Nakagami, 1:47.072, looking good on the board as well. Really quick session already.
It is when, and I spoke to him about it yesterday. Oh, as Marco Bezzecchi's gone deep in
Oh,
turn
yeah,
1.
he's just gone straight on.
Had a couple of goes at that, hasn't he? Over the last couple of laps. At one moment, it looked like Frankie was losing his MotoGP ride altogether. And yet, the way that cards have been dealt, suddenly he comes up with the best ride in MotoGP.
Musical chairs. He was kind of given that fantastic opportunity with the move of Joan Zarco to go to LCR. 2 years contract with Honda for Joan. So yeah, he created that gap, and Franco Morbidelli is going to have a great chance next year on arguably the best bike on the grid.
I think he'll go really well as well, because he'll see it as a last chance saloon. What an opportunity, and a real way to prove that, listen, I'm not a bad rider. Yamaha have just been left behind a little bit. You can see obviously also what's happened with Fabio Quartararo.
He was runner-up in the world in
2020. You do feel like this will be his chance. I mean, I do feel, I can't lie, he's lucky that the opportunity's fallen for him, but I don't begrudge him one bit, and I feel like I know him well enough, Frankie, that he'll think, right, watch this.
Because you would.
You would. Nothing to lose.
As a rider, you struggled for a few years. He's had that really bad knee injury as well that he's managed to overcome. And it takes a long time, that kind of injury with the surgery he's had. And now he's getting a real chance. He's fit, he's ready for it. And he's been struggling for a few years. So the motivation at that point as a rider is massive.
Yeah, huge. That's the point. His motivation will be huge. Yeah. And he'll throw everything at it, won't he? He'll work all winter to make sure he can be the absolute best he can be. He could be a little dark horse for next year, Frankie Morbidelli. I remember around the Misano World Superbike race, that was at a point where Frankie turned up to that event, and it was looking like he was sort of there speaking to some teams, seeing if there was any World Superbike rides.
Yep, so coming through then at the moment, we've had our first banker lap time. Jorge Martins on the first sector's looking good as well. Aleix Espargaro, 1:46.387, looking good as they come into it. Martin, Bezzecchi, Quartararo, Alex Marquez, Zarco, Marini, Nakagami, Bagnaia, Marc Marquez. They round out the top 10, and that's the top runners as things stand. Look at Martin's middle sector. Wow! And actually, wow in the first 3, because we've got Aleix Espargaro, fastest sector 1 and 2. The same for Jorge Martin. Marc Marquez is fastest in the first sector, but he's dropped off in the second. Fastest first sector, that was also Fabio Quartararo, but his second sector hasn't actually appeared on the timing screens. Same actually for fucking Morbidelli. So they must have taken a shortcut to come back in. But 7,000's quicker at the moment for Aleix Espargaro and Jorge Martin. So they are really closing up between them at the moment. Martin is 2 tenths up on Alaish's time, so there are still positions to be found as they come into turn 16 and 17. Down the back half of the straight, pull the throttle back, carry on the acceleration and drift into the last corner. Bigger lap times on the board. Aleix Espargaro is down by 43,000, so he's not going to improve. Martin has a shot to go to the top and does so with a 146.182. Nice opening gap.
Using the hard rear at the moment, so it looks like that's working as well.
This is beyond race time tomorrow for the sprint and on Sunday, which is at 3:30 p.m. local time. That means there have been changes. The original schedules that were put out, there have been a few changes to them, so just double check things where you're at. 3:30 local time. Our build up to the sprint will be at 10:30 a.m. UK time on Saturday, with the race at 11.
Joan Mir said he liked the new Honda at the test. He said performance-wise, out and out speed wasn't a huge difference, but he said he felt a lot more comfortable on the motorcycle. It's quite an interesting comment.
But then you wonder, if Marc Marquez is saying one thing and he's saying another, which way do they go?
Oof, let me think.
Yeah, exactly. So
but it depends if Mark's staying, actually.
Marquez, as in Marquez, when he talks about Joan Mir, it's Mir. Depends what Mir says, and that was funny yesterday.
Yeah, it made a smile, didn't it, Emma?
Yes, Hodgson. That lap's going for Joan Mir, I'm afraid. 10th fastest earlier today, though.
Yeah, it looked good. Looked really good. In fact, it looked the best he's looked on that Honda since Portugal. Round 1, where he came out the blocks pretty fast. And it all went wrong in the sprint race when he, just dived up the inside of him, didn't he? And went for a gap that definitely wasn't there.
Aleix Espargaro jumps to the top. Brilliant, brilliant. Aleix goes up with a 146.182, which is exactly the same time as Jorge Martin. That is insane. Look at it on the timing graphic. They are identical. Well, we knew this Bud International Circuit was going to favour the two, but that's Aprilia and Ducati on the same type of tyres. Oh, and that is Aleix Espargaro in the gravel at turn 1. He's gone straight on, and he has beached the rear tyre in the gravel. He's got the bike upright, so he's just gone straight on, and he's dug himself in. Hasn't gone down. In fact, he could let go of that bike and it'd stay up. Oh, and the marshals now look. Push! That's what he's saying. Aleix literally grab, pick up, push. He's telling to the Indian marshals here as well, as the rear tyre is beached hard in the gravel at turn 1. Absolute hilarity. He's just gone straight on. That first corner is going to be, it's such a tight braking zone, and nobody can get it right. We've seen it across free practice 1 this morning, now in practice this afternoon. Everybody's locking up. That is, I feel, it's going to be a race-defining moment. Someone of the leaders is going to lock up, go straight on, and then they're in the gravel. At least the gravel works at stopping them. Aleix gets going again after shouting to the Indian marshals, push, pick up, lever as well, push, push, push. So he's back out of the gravel and will get going. Looks behind him to safely rejoin the track. So, number 1 man in the gravel at turn 1 gets up and gets going again. Here's Jack Miller on the Red Bull KTM. Flicks to the right, then to the left again, then controls it down the back track, but he's had his lap time cancelled by the stewards. We're 20 minutes in to this session, and as things stand, we have a top 10 of Aleix Espargaro, Jorge Martin, Michael Bezzecchi, Fabio Quartararo, Augusto Fernandez in 5th, Marc Marquez is 6th, Alex Marquez 7th, Johan Zarco 8th, Luca Marini 9th, and Johan Mir. Personally, after riding injured most of the year, he's my surprise in that top 10, being in 10th position by 0.3 of a second to Takiki Nakagami, as lap time cancelled for Fabio Quartararo for exceeding the yellow flags. There's Pecco Bagnaia watching on down in the Ducati garage, looking quite strong as well. Nakagami, Bagnaia, Binder, Morbidelli, Oliveira, Raul Fernandez, Bradle, Pol Espargaro, Di Giannantonio, Miller, Vinales and Pirro are the 12 riders in the drop zone at the moment and have to go through Q1. Remember, 12 go through Q1, the top 2 progress to Q2, and then they join the top 10. So it's 12 in each session across the 22 riders. This is the last corner we are taking a look at now, at turn 13 with Jorge Martin coming out of it on the Prima Pramac Ducati and gets up from 76 kilometres an hour to 301 kilometres in the short acceleration zone up towards the line. Fabio Quartararo's gone P5 with a 1:46.695, so he's improved up the timing tower now. Marc Marquez on the radio in his pit garage now, talking with his engineers to make sure they know what is happening. But Martin and Aleix Espargaro, with 49 minutes to go, are level on the dot. Both done a 1:46.182, which is absolutely superb, right on the bubble and right on what we needed to see, as Marc getting his elbow down and his knee down as well. Fantastic stuff, and very nicely on the deck getting it going. So thumbs up there for Marc Marquez. TNT.
Yeah, I think he's I'd say his personal confidence has gone up a notch.
What about Marc Marquez's after Misano?
Solid, wasn't it?
It's really.
The race pace in Misano was amazing.
He said after this weekend when I had a chat with him yesterday, he said, I never thought I'd be saying a 7 to 8 challenge of those positions is a good weekend, but felt like a better one.
I know we've had this conversation a few times before. But can you imagine another 12 months of crash, 7th, 8th, crash, maybe a 5th, a 15th? You can't imagine him wanting to do that just for money, can you?
You got Jorge Martin there. You can tell, how hot it is. He was sweating a lot when he
was, yeah.
Took his leathers off a little bit, and then now trying to cool down with the water. It's so hot out there. When the humidity is like that, you can't explain the feeling that you get. The heat of the bike, because you're constantly hiding behind the bike. So you'd think with the speed you get a bit of air, but you don't, do you? You get the hot air coming from the engine.
That's what you don't want.
Yeah, you get all that, and then obviously you're wearing your leather suit, your helmet, and it's very hot. You can't really explain the feeling in those countries with the high humidity. It's horrendous. You get dehydrated very quickly.
Yeah, for example, if you've never been to this part of the world or experienced this sort of heat, imagine a few years back when it was the hottest day ever in the UK recorded. It's like that heat, but with more humidity. And at that point, obviously, it was news flash, warnings on the news of stay indoors, stay out of direct sunlight. People were dying.
Don't ride a 300 brake horsepower motorcycle at 200 miles an hour.
Wearing real hot leathers, helmets, boots and gloves, with a bike running at way over 100 degrees, with the heat just pouring over you. Your hands are burning, your feet are burning.
And doing a physical effort as well.
A real physical effort.
Those bikes are proper physical to ride around.
We've said it before, it's the equivalent of being in a sauna with all your kit on.
Doing some press-ups.
Yeah, doing the odd press-up, doing some squats, but that for 40 minutes. And you might genuinely now be sitting at home thinking, I'm not buying that, I think you're exaggerating. All I can say is, I promise you I'm not.
That's how bad that is.
That's how bad it is.
And it's like you get that feeling in a sauna, like, say, if you go in there for about 10 minutes, you're fine. 15 minutes, you start to feel a little bit hot. 20 minutes, you're thinking, I need to get out of here.
Yeah.
And 25 minutes, you just faint.
And that is exactly what it feels like in a race. And that's why I've talked about this in the past. Normally, on your pit board, you have a countdown of laps. And I used to tell my team, in hot countries, do not put a lap on until there's 10 laps to go. Because the last thing I needed, when I was starting to feel, after 15 minutes, I started to feel ill. And I'm like, I'm struggling. I didn't need to see then. L17, I was going to say. And I'd think, what, 17 laps? I can't do 17 laps. And then the problem is, you've got that inner dialogue with yourself because you're struggling, you've got sweat in your eyes, you're in pain, you start genuinely starting to feel faint, and you're trying to be precise. You look at your pit board and it says +0, so you know you're in a battle as well. All that's going on.
Bezzecchi again's just dropped into the 145 bracket, just as he did this morning, only rider to do so far, but again runs it deep at turn 1.
We have seen how many people going straight at turn 1. I think that is going to be a critical place for the start as well. It's because it just tightens up and the braking zone is short and really aggressive, so very easy to make a mistake there.
And the way also you're then having to set up 2 and to keep that pace going up through there, up towards the top of the hill.
Do you know what I thought originally? And you might laugh and think, no, I don't think it's that.
Right.
I think it looks so much like Sepang that riders have got used to coming out
And releasing the brake a bit.
Yeah, the straight at Sepang is longer, so you come out the last corner, and I might be completely wrong. Maybe the heat's got to me. I think it's taken quite a bit of the riders getting their head around that part of the track.
It is. That first corner is very similar. I can see what Neil means in terms of the fact it's sort of a short braking. Turn one at Sepang, heavy on the brakes, release the brake gently, and smooth it around. Yeah, I can see what they mean. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Yeah, so just smooth it around as they come through. Okay. Sepang, I think what this track tried to do, if we take a look at it on the main camera here, there's the track guide with all the stats. What they tried to do with this circuit is blend previous Formula 1 and MotoGP circuits together to create like the niche that they wanted. And it works. But that first sector has always bugged me. It bugged me in Formula 1 days because it goes uphill to turn 3, where it's wide on the start line, tight through 1, wide at the exit, and then tight again. So it creates sort of like an hourglass shape in terms of how it's run, and quite often you get bigger accidents. And I don't like bigger accidents. I really don't, because you've got like an Austria turn. The turn 3 is quite like Austria turn 3, where it's uphill. Do you remember the mega crash we had there with Morbidelli and Rossi nearly getting taken out? So yeah, it's scaring me a little bit. And the pit exit wall is quite close as well, and the whole thing is a bit too tight for my liking as well. And turn 1's runoff isn't that great. I wish Susie Perry was here, because I really wish Susie was here, because Susie was here in 2013. Susie Perry was at this track in 2013 when she was presenter and commentator for BBC F1. So she knows this track. She's done things at this track. So it would be like coming home for her, I reckon. But her experience to be here. But thoughts and prayers with Susie as well. She's gone through a very tragic thing. She's lost one of her best friends. Her dad's not well, and she herself has had some heart problems. So Susie, thoughts and prayers with you as well. Hopefully you get back to the paddock ASAP, but do take your time. We'll be ready when you are back, 100% as well. As Bagnaia comes through turns 1 and 2. New windlets on the front tyre, I'm noticing as well, that we saw in practice 1. It's just changing the flexibility of the bike a little bit. It keeps twitching under acceleration, so it's still looking good to me. Very good racing already shaping up.
Even in the, let's say, the heaviest braking moment where you see maximum weight transfer, it still looks sort of stable and manageable.
Maybe enough, because that is the area that they're talking about.
Yeah, the transfer is not quite enough. Where the Honda, it's the opposite sort of problem. It's almost like the transfer is too violent.
Is it something to do again then with the rear end, the way that?
Well, I mean, you saw with the new Honda at the test was that new mass damper system, which is old technology really for what. I mean, Ducati have been running that for 10 years now nearly.
Yeah.
And the Honda just looks so much more nervous.
It looks like the CG's too high on it. Compared to the Aprilia, the exact opposite. This looks super low, doesn't it?
The talk was it was a lower bike, didn't it, the new Honda?
That last corner, it's Sepang, isn't it, a little bit?
Doesn't quite have the negative camber that we get at that final corner in Sepang.
Looking forward to watching when we get to Sepang. Bautista. See how he gets on.
How do you think he's going to do?
I think he's going to be on the podium.
That's bold, but I kind of agree with you.
I just think he's going to be so full of confidence. We know he's tested the bike quite a bit. He's got absolutely nothing to lose. He goes well around there because he's super small.
Fast in Sepang,
yeah, fast in Sepang, light on the tyres, which will play a part in it. I hope he does. I'd love him to do a Bayliss.
Yeah.
Turn up and win. Just because it just makes it interesting, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. I mean, it then causes all sorts of...
Oh, then you've got the argument of what's the best championship in the world.
And levels.
And we all know that's BSB, so... There's no point in even having that discussion.
Hey, that's good, isn't it? Half a point between them at the moment there.
I can't wait for
the needle. It's brilliant.
No, I think they get on. I think they're just doing that for show. No, proper old school rivalry. We talked about it a bit earlier.
And of course, at the moment we know Paul Bird's funeral is about to start up in Penrith in Cumbria. So sad, of course, the whole story
sad.
there.
So sad.
So all our thoughts out to everyone there up in Cumbria today.
And what a team. What a legacy Paul's leaving behind. The amount of people he's helped in this paddock, in all paddocks. And the fact that now his two men are fighting it out like warriors for the British Championship, it's sort of poetic.
It's a fitting tribute, isn't it?
It really is. And I mentioned it before, but his daughter over the weekend doing live interviews talking about her dad. Wow, it brought a tear to my eye.
Yeah, absolutely. Proper lump of the throat stuff, isn't it?
Bagnaia on a good lap. He's slowly waking up. He's slowly building himself into it. It looks fine in the paddock. He's got that like a bandit
Tubey grip, like a long one from his thigh
but
down to his ankle.
There's no limp though at all, is there? It doesn't look like it doesn't look like he's labouring when he gets on the bike, like we saw a couple of weekends ago.
And he's working his way into his
really
session.
Well. He said he was really lucky. He got hit really where the protection is and on the slider. So that's what saved him, basically.
Wow.
So, yeah.
I'd never heard that.
Yeah, that was miraculous, that really.
It was. No, it was miraculous. We were thinking season ender at best.
Just look how low that Ducati goes.
Bagnaia goes fourth with that low Ducati, a 1:46.247. So as I said, the first 50 or so minutes of this session is going to be banker lap times, race simulations, because this is the same time that the sprint race and the Grand Prix are going to be out. Near enough. So they're going to have to get out there, learn a lot of it. And going into quali tomorrow, I'm very much looking forward to seeing what we're going to have. Don't forget, qualifying will be delayed coverage because of their F1 qualifying at the same time. Live coverage of the sprint and the Grand Prix will be on Twitch and YouTube as well, just to let you all know as they come through.
In the arm, wouldn't it, for him in this stage of the championship with races coming thick and fast. To just have a reassurance, I'm not a bad rider, I know. Yeah. And I'm sure that such doubt won't be there, but...
Look at that, 113 miles an hour around the old bank corner. How cool is that? I thought it was turn 8.
8 and 9.
Yeah, learned something there. What do you think of Mark's new helmet design?
I like it.
I love it. Looks good in real life.
And he's got the gloves as well, matching gloves.
And boots.
He's been doing that a couple of races this year. Barcelona had a special design going on. Lots of fans here for Marc Marquez, as you can imagine. Through turn 5 into 6 and 7 here. Fast flip-flop.
Track's rubbering up nicely. Just the only issue is thunderstorms potentially tomorrow, but Charlie was saying if there are going to be any, it looks like it might happen early on.
It's probably going to, again, it's quite unpredictable, isn't it?
Yeah,
when I was looking at the weather map yesterday, just bursting out.
Martin goes fastest. Martin has taken the top, a 1:45.840. So he now sets and becomes the new bench marker. Very nice opening gambits then coming through. So he's moved a 10th ahead of Bezzecchi and now ahead and got ahead of Aleix Espargaro's time. Bagnaia back in, the Ducati mechanics clomber around him as well to see what he's got to say and what he's got to offer as well, and whether or not there'll be any difference between the riding later. Martin, though, Augusto Fernandez has been pushed out. Now, he was 6th fastest, remember, earlier on, but look at Johan Mir, 7th fastest now, ahead of Marc Marquez down to 8th. Alex Marquez down to 12th, and that was just, what, 5 minutes or so? It's changed around already. Big changes, huge changes in this race weekend to come through. I keep thinking that's something else that keeps texting me to come through, but it's Twitter notifications, or X notifications, what they were called as well, as Vinales goes up to 15th as well. So slight improvement there. Brad Binder, 19th to 16th. 147.001. Jorge Martin is not stopping. Look at the second and third sectors. Second sector, 106.626. Third sector, 127.519, but he's up by 10th. So Martin finding the deltas, finding the time he needs out here on the circuit. Pulling it all in. Out of the last corner, boots it hard, and Martin on the Prima Pramac Ducati does a 1:45.672. Now goes 0.321 faster than Bezzecchi on his current Gambit time. There's no stopping them. This is becoming a domination, and Ducati running away with the title this year. But Martin, a lap time cancelled for the 33 of Binder due to track limits. And Johan Mir has jumped up into 5th position. So Mir, on a 1:46.568, jumps up into 5th place. Astounding time to have a difference between them. They really are closing in quite well now. Into the last two corners. Well, the back half turns 4, 5 and 6 coming up. Marc Marquez into the pit lane. Now the track is going to go very silent for around about 13 minutes or so. We'll see a few riders out there setting a few lap times, but the last 20 minutes, this track's going to rubber in us a lot, and we're going to go for the information. It's going to be fun. Let's turn it up to TNT. Someone just improved there. Was it Fabio Quartararo into 10th position? Brad Binder goes 13th fastest, so that's the change. From 19th to... Morbidelli went 5th. That's it. Morbidelli went to 5th, 1:46.554, and Brad Binder goes 13th, 1:46.
Entry of turn 10. Yeah, Alish is pushing real hard there.
Up to 12. And then down towards that last corner. Heavy braking. I'm loving the last corner though. You need to, if you're leading, you have to go defensive, but it's one of them. You can't go fully defensive because it will affect your exit. Certainly in the smaller classes.
Unlike other races, they have got 3 options available, front and rear, haven't they?
Yeah, but the front one from what I've...
another turn 1 moment.
Better than the other.
Yeah, got it stopping earlier. This time he said, I'm not going in that gravel again.
Yeah, the front one looks like they've got the standard hard one, and then they've got one step above that was really brought here because of safety.
Yeah. They've got 4 tyres, so it was like one's a safety tyre.
The harder one that was brought just in case, basically, was a bit more of an insurance policy.
And on the rears, though, 3 options available to them.
It's the only track that they have genuinely got no reference. Normally they've been able to get someone out at some point to get some sort of...
I don't think, let's say the super hard ones, I don't think they're going to get used. It doesn't look like it anyway.
I guess that is brought just as a safety tyre, just in case.
Just in case the abrasion was massive, and also from the F1 races here, the feedback was that this was one of the most abrasive track of the calendar for the F1. So I know things are different, but I think it was just these super hard tyres were brought in just in case. The tyre degradation was massive.
Marquez ain't crashed this weekend, has he?
Don't say that.
No, I won't. No, just his leathers were all scuffed, which is rare at the highest of high levels that he would go out with a second-hand suit on.
He might have done a little front save that we didn't see. It's just a side.
I could have.
He did have it in turn 12.
It's just the side of the arm.
It's at that point where you would do that. That's
turn 12, he had one. We saw it.
Oh, there we go then. So I'm like, they're scuffed.
A bit like yours in Barcelona.
Yeah, that was how well you did that. That was unbelievable.
I don't want to talk about it.
Probably best not to.
No, you brought it up, so hang on. No, whilst we are on the subject. So I started on my out loud.
Are you saying that the camera evidence was faked?
I thought magicians never reveal their tricks.
Was it?
I'm saying nothing.
Here comes Luca Marini. Can he better Jorge Martin across the line? Half an hour to go in our final practice of the day. All-important practice. The top 10 will go through to Q2.
Tuyama's looking loads better.
Oh, this is a really wrong. Oh!
And that's on the paint there.
Yeah, but that paint is not good.
It's lethal. If that's the only thing, if they can change anything on this track, and
they need to redo that.
Yeah, and I think that's going to have to
scrub it.
Yeah, scrub it. Because if they don't want to paint over it, so make it worse, they've literally got to like.
We've seen
get the wire brushes out.
We've seen this morning Vietti having
Had
a
a horrible
massive
crash.
eyesight there, and then this should be more grippy than the tarmac.
Yeah.
No, the white paint is super slippery.
It's like ice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, to be
Thankfully,
fair with Luca Marini, we've seen that type of accident before. The bike looks like it's stalled, so he's down to another one bike now. But Marini down at turn 1, he's second fastest in this session alone.
Commission meeting later today.
Fascinating
Wellington
session.
evening by then, won't it? It's already coming up to 5 p.m. local time here in India.
Half an hour to go, yeah.
Still 29 minutes to go.
Sun's coming down. It'd be gorgeous on my media lap, wouldn't it? The sun's setting. I'm being serious. It'd be lovely. What a life experience. Like a little box ticking exercise. Nice
We're all
romantic.
just hoping we won't be able to see the apexes,
Nice.
aren't you, with the
There's
camera shots.
there's some apexes out there. What are you on about?
You'd be great down the straight there.
I know where there isn't one. There's definitely not one at turn 1 because I've not seen anyone hit it yet.
I think you should go straight at turn 1 and just test that paint for us.
No. Do you remember what happened last time?
That'll be Austria Mark II, won't it?
Do you remember when you goaded me into that? And I listened like
You got traction control
fool.
on that thing. Just go in there and pin it. See how it goes.
You'd be well happy if I crashed.
Yes.
Only if you didn't hurt yourself.
Well, I know that.
Quartararo went up to 5th place with that lap, 146.1.
Broken collarbone would count.
Would have put him 3rd actually earlier today, that lap from Fabio. Bear in mind, he's only done 10 this morning, and he's done more laps than anyone else this afternoon, Quartararo.
Yeah, looking loads better. Mark is going out with a hard front soft rear, so that looks like
Time
a
attack.
time attack.
That'd be
Here we
it's
go,
really gonna
as
be
I
interesting
said,
to see what he can do.
time
28
in.
minutes to go. Oh, Oliveira, that was some lean angle through there. What a section of a track. There
I'm
is
liking this
nothing
in
like
MotoGP
it in
now.
the world. That
It's
is
a beautiful
very,
corner.
very unique the way they've designed that.
10 years ago. It's an unusual track, this. Hasn't been used in over a
Here is Jack
decade.
Miller down in 20th, 1.5 off. Do you know what? All I've seen when I've been looking for Jack's times is lap cancelled. It seems to be there's somewhere on the racetrack he's hitting every single time.
Yeah, just clipping one of the, well, just going off the edge of the curb, touching the green.
It's 0.4 off halfway round, but somewhere he keeps clipping the paint.
Well, it's a very...
Turn
half the
7 for
curbs are
Maverick
painted here,
Vinales.
of course. Half the curbs are
What sort
painted.
of bike do you want underneath you then through a corner like this?
What, through 8 and 9?
Through 8 and 9.
Do you know what? I genuinely think it's irrelevant. I think it's a rider's corner. The
feel.
rider will make the difference. It's one of those quirky sections. I might be wrong. I can't really think that. Oh yeah, you definitely need like a stable Aprilia. I just think you've got to be a confident rider and really commit.
It's funny because Maverick looks like he's fully committed in that lap, and he's 7
7
tenths
tenths
off.
off,
It's-
yeah.
it looks fast on the images. It looks like he's fighting the bike in the right way.
Vinales to 10th. Whoa, Vinales up to 10th place. 146.603, a nice time gain there. 9 tenths off the pace of Martin still, but that's good, that's good. And here we go then with Bagnaia coming out there. Time attacks coming through.
Aren't they?
Oh, is it? No,
Is
it's
that a new-
just.
it's not a new rear,
Yeah, no,
is
it's
it?
a new front. He's trying the
New front,
the hard
used
front.
rear, yeah, hard front tyre for Bagnaia going out there.
See the shine on that tyre. Just as he comes into the late afternoon sunshine here. For Pecco Bagnaia running in 6th place. A reminder that in the championship he leads Jorge Martin now by 36 points. Did stand at 60 at one point after the second place in the sprint in Barcelona. Since then, Martin has fought back. Picked up 16 on him in Barcelona in the race after Bagnaia's crash. And then last week picked up another 14 on him.
Just looking at Jorge Martin's top speed, basically he's done 215 miles an hour. It's interesting, we are at the track with the longest straight that we go to all year, yet we are 11 miles an hour off the top speed.
Off of Mugello.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the turn that
you into
Gets
the
you
corner.
in. Yeah,
Isn't that
it's
interesting
so
though? Just to
good.
show that, so the straight's longer than Mugello, but the fact that you come onto this straight in first gear as opposed to at Mugello, you come onto it in third gear and pretty much click fourth as you stand it up and hit the curb on the outside.
Just a
So,
change.
11 miles an hour off the fastest time.
Maverick Vinales stays 11th fastest. He's been kicked out once again at that top by Miguel Oliveira, who's gone into third position as well. So the times are changing, but it's going to be the last 20 minutes. That's going to be the sector time. Oh, and that is Michele Pirro for the second time today. He was down this morning in practice one, and that's down at turn one. So look, we'll start the clock. That's what, the 12th rider we've seen down there in this session alone. Hasn't dropped it. He's gone into the gravel. Rear tyres dug in. He's tried to save it, but it's such deep gravel as well. It's beached the front and the rear. So if you want to go through there, you've got to be like almost like a swan, smooth at the top, but fierce amount of power underneath of the bike. And they haven't got the traction because you're braking, so the rear tyre comes off the floor, you go into the gravel sort of with your front wheel in, so that dips in, your rear tyre comes down, and then you try and rev it up, and that digs that down. So you just end up beached in the gravel trap.
The ninth.
Hey, Brador is looking all right there. And that bike looks good as well.
Looks gorgeous. Doesn't it? The old-
Great in the old Castrol
Yeah,
colours,
the
isn't it?
like retro Castrol. Always reminds me of Crutchlow now when I say that.
Not Aaron Slight anymore.
No, it's that's only funny how times change. It used to always be, yeah, you think like Colin Edwards and Aaron Slight, and now think of Crutchlow, who we will be seeing next weekend, which will be good. I'm doing my track guide with him on Thursday, so I expect some stick off Cal, no doubt. It'll be the usual Cal. I'll go, well, Cal, this corner's a good one, isn't it? He'll go, no, it's horrible. And I'll go, what about this one? This is awful. He'll go, I love it. I've always had that relationship with my mate Cal. Hopefully I might even be able to get a round of golf with him, because I believe he's not yet managed to break 100, but he's, I've heard he's improving slowly.
Still off 28.
Still off 28 randomly.
Lovely evening. Great first day here in India. A few teething problems here and there, but nothing to write home about as Johan Zarco comes round at turn 3.
What, how are you feeling about Zarco then, Sylvan, this weekend? He's currently just, I think he's keeping his powder dry, sat back in 18th.
You know how I feel about Johan Zarco, don't you?
Well, his face is all over the posters.
Yeah.
Battle of the Champions.
He's, well, I think he's got a chance to be on the podium this weekend.
Do you think
See how it develops.
Do you think this track will suit your man?
Yeah, I think so. He did this morning. He did well this morning. For now, you know, he's not done the time attack yet. He's just setting his bike for the race. He's thinking
Long game.
Yeah. Which, you know, is a gauge of confidence.
His teammate was twisting his Ducati into there.
He normally goes well at places like Argentina. This is that's a very similar style.
The thing is, here on this track, we have no idea yet about, you know, what kind of tire degradation we're going to get throughout the race. We
He looked great through turn 9 as well, Marquez.
You know, turn 10 looks scary.
Yeah.
It weren't the rear stepping out, it was the front that just went, this is the limit,
Yeah.
as it hopped across the track.
Oh, it's just
Well, watch
looked
the last turn. Watch the corner entry in the last turn. There you go. Buried. Yeah, no, that was not a great exit for the last turn, but yeah, the Honda's not looking too bad, really. Well, not as bad as normal. They,
well, they're not in the last 4 positions, is what you mean.
yeah.
Actually, KTM's are the ones suffering a little bit. Fernandez 17th, Binder 18th, Miller 20th, Polispargo 21st.
That's strange.
Looking
That is
good.
strange. I said that, well, I was going to say there's not a lot in it,
Morbidelli's
but
out.
I guess Binder's a second off, which nowadays that is a lot in MotoGP.
Augusto Fernandez having another good day. Here is Frankie Morbidelli, buoyed by his new contract, perhaps.
I bet. I bet he can't wait.
Soft tyre in.
He will be
Off the
counting
Yamaha.
down the days for the Monday or Tuesday or whatever day it is at Valencia.
Tuesday.
Hey, that's a good lap, that.
I think it's Tuesday. Moto2 and Moto3 have a test on the Monday, is my understanding. Really good lap here. A bit slip and slide on the way out. Says Morbidelli powers to the line.
Yes.
To third place.
That's really impressive. I'm looking forward to, I think I might stay and watch that test on Tuesday to watch the two new boys on the Ducatis, Mark and Morbidelli.
Haven't yet had Mark confirmed.
He's not going to do it, is he?
Stirring that pot as per usual.
Well, my sources say it's a done deal.
We'll be covering it
I just
live.
made that one up.
Your sources all said it wasn't done last week.
Gav, you are my source. Right, this is
I
going to
thought
be a
your
time.
source was HP.
It is on everything. A little bit of brown sauce.
He has packed them in his bag, ladies and gentlemen, just
I have.
so you are aware.
Look, I'm away for 2 weeks. I'm going to miss my brown sauce, so I brought it with me.
Why, where are we next week?
Old school.
Out of turn 12 for Pecco Bagnaia. You'd be pleased
I'm
to know
just
there
old.
weren't packs of bacon in his bag either, ready to make himself a
I'm
sandwich.
just old. Old school.
Oh yeah, Japan. Japan next week. I forgot about
The
that.
final corner.
What's going to be interesting is Martin's first lap, because, well, as we've mentioned, he's flying high on confidence. It's going to be his very first
I think it's
fly.
happening now. He's just left
Oh,
pit lane
Mark's
with
in
the
the pit
soft rear
lane now.
tyre in.
Yeah.
Mark
That's all right,
Marquez in pit
Martin.
lane.
Oh,
I'm intrigued to see what he can do.
Marc Marquez, where's he? 10th, currently sitting in 10th. Knows he's going to need to find something, but I do feel like there's something in it for him this weekend.
Yeah, I've got that same feeling. He's
But-
only 0.7 off.
I also feel there's a throw at the scenery on the cards, the way the bike has looked.
Yeah, as that super slow-mo just demonstrated, it's not easy. Look at
Shaking.
Nice.
This was not smooth. That was his last, when we were watching him, you know, that corner exit, the bike just hopping and bouncing. That's basically when you lose grip and regain grip and lose grip and regain grip, and
That's
the
what
bike
he said mid-corner, didn't he? Mid-corner is the...
start shaking. I was struggling
Oh.
with the traction even with the new tyre.
Bagnaia has had a lap time cancelled due to a track limit. So Bagnaia, as you can see on your screen, so Bagnaia has lost a lap time gambit.
What you can do there, you can roll off, but you're gonna lose time to regain that traction. You want a nice, clean, smooth, efficient exit like you get with with what they do with the Ducatis. You know, the bike just looks so smooth and
Yeah, soft.
and
Look at the sector times. Johan Mir, fastest first sector, 33.258. But it's Maverick Vinales on the Aprilia who's going well. Yeah, there's confirmation that Bagnaia has lost his lap time anyway. Augusto Fernandez stays 17th at 146.811. But my eyes are glued to Maverick Vinales, who is flying right now on the sectors and is looking good to improve. So let's just see, can Maverick Vinales, as Bagnaia comes into the pit lane, the Aprilia of Maverick Vinales twitching, coming through turn 11, really flying through hard into turn 12, last corner turn 13, the last one downhill into the left-hander, sort of like a city street circuit type. You've got to really have a pinpoint exit across the line. And Vinales from 14th moves up into top position with a 145.361, 3 tenths quicker. And now Johan Mir goes 5th, 145.841, and off goes Vinales once again, straight on into the gravel at turn 1. Everybody struggling to get that stopped at that first corner. And that's going to be a major problem come qualifying, come the races, as sprinting and feature. So that's going to be a lot of fun. 146.791 for Bagnaia. He's P10 at the moment. Once again on a Friday, can't get it working quali.
Sink in the rear.
Oh, frustration between Vinales and Aleix there as Maverick bought his captain. As Brad Binder comes past him.
it's one of those places, turn 1, where it'd be really easy after a very good lap time to just miss your braking point.
You're surely not suggesting that a rider would do something like that. Surely not.
Well, you're
You
saying
would
they do it on
definitely have done
purpose.
something like that. You would have done something like that.
Sylvan,
wouldn't you?
surely not.
You would.
Next you'll be
Well,
saying,
here's Vinales. He's warming up his tyres, getting rid of some gravel. Oh, and Aleix on a fast lap right between them. Wow.
Aleix was frustrated. Maverick was just as I said, waving the yellow flags at him. Maverick rejoining.
Unsafe. Wow.
Yeah, Alish would have gone through the yellows there anyway.
Yeah.
So
It's exactly what he was saying as well.
Yeah.
Mate, you're on the yellow flag lap anyway.
Yeah.
Chill out, dude.
You also need to rejoin the track safely, don't you? And know that there's other people coming through.
Do you think someone might even run onto the gravel on purpose?
I don't know.
Well, we'll find out tomorrow, won't we?
Yeah, we'll find out. We'll find out.
We'll also find out in this session because I think it could even happen in this session.
Joan Mir's just gone third.
That's unreal.
Wow.
Hey, by the end of this session, in this last 15 minutes, that could easily be 16th by the end of this session. But
Oh, and I think he's gone off at turn 1. He has. Yellow flag at turn 1. Wow, he's gone through the gravel.
Because Johan has been struggling so much. He's had so many crashes, not understanding why.
Yeah, Mir went on the
While
gravel.
being,
Mir went on the gravel.
miles off the pace and getting, outpaced by Marquez. So it's really nice to see for Johan.
I'm not sure whether...
Whoa! Fabio Di Gianantonio! What a lap time! Up into second position on the 1:45.609. Marco Bezzecchi is electric right now. Sector times are flashing up red everywhere. This is great stuff. Great action here. Into the last 2 corners. Now Bezzecchi's 9th. Bagnaia's 11th. Quadraro's 10th. Martin goes 2nd. Bezzecchi goes to the top. 1:45.246. And does he get it stopped into turn 1? No, he too just runs it wide but gets it stopped before the gravel. Everybody running so deep into turn 1 in that gravel. Ralph Fernandez goes 10th. Oh boy! Ralph Fernandez on the Crypto Data RNF bike goes up there. And that's 2 of them now inside the top 10 with Oliveira in 8th. All 4 of the Aprilias are through. So this is getting tense now. Quadraro, Bagnaia, Alex Marquez, Paul Espargaro, Marc Marquez, Jan Zarco. The riders, look at Bindu and Miller, 20th and 21st. Riders you expect to be right up there at the top are not. And now this is going to be a very crucial couple of sessions. Alex Espargaro, P9 at the moment, exits the last corner, pulls the throttle back, 2nd gear, 3rd gear, 4th gear across the line, goes up with a 1:45.565 into 4th position.
45's the top 10 all inside that bracket. It's a good another lap from Digi. It's his 3rd in a row, this one. From the rider who looks set to lead MotoGP at the end of the year. And
it's a really good last sector for DG. Caught about a 10th there, P3. That's nice to see. And his seat is still up for grab.
Yeah, absolutely.
Could it be in?
I thought he was told that he
in the background we've been told that. Yeah, he's been told that he hasn't got the ride. But who knows?
I mean, so as far as we know, the people down for that ride is Marc Marquez, Jake Dixon and Digi. As far as I can't think of anyone, there's nobody else, is there?
Well,
not that I'm aware of.
Tony Arbolino, or yeah.
I guess
he's done.
He's done and signed. I know you could argue that Jake
is as well, yeah. There was a rumour doing the rounds, wasn't there, about could they put KTM do a deal to put Acosta in there, for a year or one of those. There was a rumour doing the rounds when it was pointed out that I don't think Ducati would want him getting all the data from their bike for a year, which is, I suppose, one of the other issues with the Marc Marquez rumour that. The talk is that he'll go KTM route after the end of his current Honda contract, 2025, and MV Agusta has been bandied about there. If you're Ducati, do you only want to give Marc Marquez a 1-year deal? I am asking you both.
It's not going to happen.
Neil says it's going to happen. Fabio Quartararo, here he comes.
Yeah, look at Fabio Quartararo right now coming out of the last corner. Fastest in the 3rd sector. Oh, he's 2nd. 1:45.291. 45 thousandths of a second off the pace. And there goes Binder into 8th position. And Miller's only 14th. Marc Marquez go 5th. So they've all gone out together. And that's changed the order. Bezzecchi, we've got a yellow flag sector 2. So, is that turn 4? No, it's gone in now, whatever it is. Oops. And Binder or Miller? I'm going straight. Well, one of the KTMs straight on at turn 3. Zarco, 18th at the moment. So it's Bezzecchi, Quartararo, Vinales, Di Giannantonio, Marc Marquez, Aleix Espargaro, Martin Binder, Ralph Fernandez, and Johan Mir is the top 10 as things currently stand here. And Marini looking quick. Zarco goes 4th, 145.369. Here comes Marini across the line. Goes up into 3rd, 145.317. So Marini gets through, pushes out Ralph Fernandez. Binder's in the cusp now as well. Bagnaia is 16th as we ride on board with him down in towards turn 4. Super tight stuff going on right now. Wonderful hearing the bikes sing out there as well at the moment.
It's been like this. Gresini is a private team,
Yeah.
and Ducati, for example, have no say in who their riders are. They don't, Gav. I know you're looking at me as if to go, well, they probably do. They don't. They have no say at all. So.
Alex Marquez to
No,
11th.
they don't. Gresini pays them. So
Exactly.
they choose. Yeah.
Now this is Bagnaia. What's he done to turn 4? Rear up on braking.
Paolo Ciabatti said as much. As in, they don't have a say. I'm agreeing with you.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to
It
turn
took you
the
a
screw.
while to have to agree with me then.
Hey,
Well,
I
went
still
over
think-
then, Gav. I was
still-
upset then. I thought, hang on, he's sulking with me now.
I still think they
This
do
is
have a
the
say.
first.
However much Paolo Ciabatti can say one thing, he's a Ducati boss. He completely can mean the other at the same time.
16 riders within a second of each other at the moment.
16 riders within a second here.
I just
All
said
the way
that,
down
Gav.
to Jack Miller in 16th place. And, well, 0.7 actually covering the 16.
That's unreal, isn't it?
Wow.
And that's
So
a new
tight.
venue.
Well, and look, I've just glanced because we
17
said that,
now
look,
by
Mia's already
0.8.
slipped to 14.
Yeah.
Like,
He's only half a second off though. Not even
that.
just under
not
half a
even
second.
that.
Yeah, if you want to be 10th in this session, as Brad Binder is, yeah, you've got to be under 0.3 of a second. Because it's 0.293 back to Brad Binder in 10th place.
Wow.
And that's Pecco Bagnaia, who is 18th as things stand.
Yeah, and if body language is anything to go by, that's not positive, is it?
I've just
No,
told
where
him
we
Marc
go.
Marquez is joining Gresini.
I'll tell you this, Gav, his reaction will be much worse than that. It's not going to happen anyway.
It's
No.
dark out there, isn't it?
You got lights on your bike now for later.
Listen, I don't need lights.
You only want like
Speed I'm going at. I'll just be
Yeah,
sat
that's
up
another
whistling.
little traction issue.
If only we had
Pecco.
someone in the team that had got experience at riding in sort of twilighty conditions.
I love riding at night. It's a great experience.
Having some
It is.
electronics issues
Well, hang
down
on a
there.
minute. Well, how come you didn't then in the
Oh,
build
there
up?
they come. The 6 dozen. Marquez,
I
Bezzecchi,
gave
Mir.
up when the sun came up.
Did you? All right, sorry, mate. I didn't.
That's when
it all
I ran
went
out.
wrong.
Yeah, that's when.
Hello to SHT, says hi Joshua, and then he crashes in this session. We've had Aleix Espargaro and Michele Pirro get beached at turn 1. Luca Marini's crashed at turn 1, and everybody's going off at turn 1. That's basically it. The riders can't get the braking zone right. It's so short a run into the braking zone to turn 1. They're just running in deep and going through the gravel. So that's the only falter we've been seeing with this track so far. Despite the visa issues and the accommodation issues and the scam issues that everybody's been having about as well, and the customs and the everything. But apart from that, the track itself is actually great. The riders are throwing it around. The track is a lot better than what everybody thought it would be. So looks very good as they come through. So Marco Bezzecchi is the man to beat with a 145.246. Everybody out there now on their final runs. As they come in, turn 1 has been the trap of this track for all riders so far. Yeah, not just across MotoGP, but Moto3 and Moto2. Everyone going into turn 1 can't get it stopped in time. We're going to be in for a very entertaining race tomorrow with the Tissot Sprint, and on Sunday with the Grand Prix. Both live on YouTube and Twitch, remember. Qualifying will be delayed. Practice 2 and qualifying, delayed coverage here on Twitch as well. Straight after the Formula 1 qualifying has concluded, because they're on at exactly the same time, and with all the Dorna problems, it's easier just to shift it along as well. And it won't be live on YouTube anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference to us. But the sprint, the main thing, which is the race, both races, they will be live. With fingers crossed through the Tissot sprint. Martin, 0.092 down on the pace as riders go off the track, just getting out of the way of everybody else in that first sector. It's not looking too good. There's a lot coming in here. Marc Marquez being followed by Johan Mir, but they're following one of the Marini VR46 bikes. Couldn't quite tell who it was on that part of the track. I think it's Luca Marini. Yeah, it is Luca Marini, because Marco Bezzecchi's in the third sector. Bagnaia into turn one, starts a lap time. Jorge Martin's looking quick. Let's take a look at full delta times. Bezzecchi looking fast, 33.102. Marc Marquez looking good. And Jorge Martin is looking mega quick. 4.5 tenths faster in the third sector as he comes out the last corner. Martin across the line, the Prima Promo like he was this morning. Top set, 1:44.790. 4.5 tenths faster than anybody else and can't get it stopped into turn one. Loses the rear and goes through the gravel. So again, can't get it stopped, can't get it on the brakes. Oh, and Alex Marquez gets out of the way of Marini, and that's Bezzecchi and Marquez and Mir. Bagnaia's up by 15 thousandths of a second in the first sector. But this is getting a little bit dangerous. The amount of riders following each other on the track, the amount of speed they're carrying in at parts of the track that don't have a big braking zone, that don't have the right gaps between them. Marc Marquez towing the back of Bezzecchi like crazy. Out of turn 13, the last corner, across the line we go. Bezzecchi second, Marc Marquez second. Oh, and someone's down in the deck with the camera. 1:45.117. And can they all get it stopped? Marquez has to lift off. Bezzecchi lifts off through one as well. Aleix Espargaro is 4 tenths of a second up as well. So Aleix finding something. Bagnaia into the last corner. Bagnaia is 18th at the moment and he's 3 tenths down. Is he actually going to improve anywhere near the top 10? Yes, he does. 1:45.280 goes into 5th position, slicing down the middle of the half of the top 10s to come in and gets it stopped to turn one. Aleix Espargaro goes second fastest, which is a 1:44.833. So 43 thousandths off for the 41. Goes a little bit deep into one. Binder's on a lap time now as well in 12th position. He's finding some deltas as he controls the slide. Viñales 2 tenths up at the moment. Yeah, this is good, this is good. As he turns in, this is Binder. Lot of lock through turn 11. He's gone a bit too deep there. Michele Pirro stays 22nd. So Pirro can't improve. Binder's out of the last corner. Is he anywhere near the top 10? He's 12th at the moment. No, stays 12th. 2 minutes to go. This will be his last run then. Maverick Viñales down. Quartararo 13 thousandths down at the moment with 2 to go.
He's making a good fist of it. Oh, he's frustrated with something there. Down towards turn 5. What's happened there?
I think he got caught behind the captain.
Frustration for Fabio, so it looks like he's going to drop off in the second sector here. Had the lace rolled out a bit? Yeah, he had massively.
SHT says, not going to lie, Marc has been much better after coming back from summer break, not crashing as much so far. Yeah, I agree, and I think he's got motivation as well that he's leaving Honda, so he doesn't have to develop the bike, he just ride it safely, and it's helping him, because the rumour is he's going to Guineschi, and he's brought into Guineschi alongside Alex Marquez.
For the veteran to have tweaked and changed his riding style to that extent.
Luca Marini halfway round. Remember, he was top of this timesheet not too long ago, but he's down in 8th. Halfway round, he's underneath Martin's best. Martin's dropped off in second sector. Binder is making progress too. This is a really fiery end to this first ever timed practice session here for MotoGP.
Yeah, it is. Marini 10 thousandths up at the moment on the last corner, approaches the line, and Luca Marini from 9th to 1st by 8 thousandths of a second. It's a 1:44.782. Mighty good time from Luca Marini. Brad Binder is looking good as well in the last sector, but he's 12th, 6 tenths down. He's got Jorge Martin right behind him. Bezzecchi's 38,000 up, but Marc Marquez is 2 tenths up of Marini. Cross the line for Binder, doesn't improve. Martin doesn't improve, and there's the yellow flag in the third sector. Sectors 2 and 3. Now Bezzecchi and Marquez have just got through there. They're highlighting Marquez. He hasn't gone down. We're on board with him, but there is a yellow flag. So there's going to be lap time cancelled. Bezzecchi and Alex Marquez in trouble. Checkered flag is out. Lap time, hand goes up for Mark. Mark knows he's not going to get lap time. Someone's gone down at turn 11. So someone's on in 9 and 10 and 11. So we'll see what's going on. Wow, the Marquez brothers reunited against his teammates. That's something. Yep. Oh, big accident. Huge accident. Is that Takiki Nakagami? Yeah, he's up and walking away, but we've got gravel all over the track and a bike in the middle of the section as well. Nakagami walking away. Great to see, but that's going to abort everybody's lap time. Yep, Alex Marquez lap time cancelled. Coming through on the stewards as well. Everybody now losing their lap time. So the top... Oh, Binder might just do it, actually. Binder's... the yellow flags have been removed, and Binder was not in that sector yet. So Binder might just have something here. Both Repsol Hondas in the top 10 at the moment. Yeah, Mir 10th, Marc Marquez 4th. But Brad Binder, who is running in 12th position at the moment, his teammate Jack Miller is down in 18th. So both of the KTMs are currently out of Q2, automatically that is. But are we about to see Brad Binder do something impossible? Oh, he's 90,000th down, so he's about a 10th down to get P1, but he's not a 10th down to get in. That'll still put him 4th fastest. This is a good time for Binder. Should easily be comfortable to get him through. This could kick out Johan Mir from qualifying 2, and it does so. 4th fastest for Binder, 1:45.102. Mir will have to go through Q1, and Binder's had his lap time cancelled for a yellow flag, but he wasn't in that sector. He wasn't in that sector. Augusto Fernandez goes through in 7th place, 1:45.277. Now surely he should have his lap time cancelled as well, and he does so. Down to 15th. But there was no yellow flags in that part of the track. They came in before that time. Well, that's Dorna being controversial for you, as always. So, Marini coming in, changing over. Wow. So second crash of the day for Takiki Nakagami to come into it. And that's it. Everybody's done the lap time. Your 10 riders automatically through. 1:44.782 for Luca Marini. He tops the session. Jorge Martin, Aleix Espargaro, Marc Marquez, Marco Bezzecchi, Maverick Vinales, Pecco Bagnaia, Fabio Quartararo gets through for the first time in 4 races or so. Johan Zarco and Johan Mir goes through. Both Repsols through to QT for the first time in a long, long time. And these are the surprising ones. Having to go through Q1, Fabio Di Gianantonio, Brad Binder having to go through, Alex Marquez, Franco Morbidelli, Augusto Fernandez, Raul Fernandez, Miguel Oliveira, Jack Miller again having to go through, Paul Espargaro, Stefan Bradl, Takiki Nakagami and Michele Pirro. They are all having to go through Q1, but it's Luca Marini who tops he tops practice, the first of the time sessions. Morbidelli just continues his tradition of being slow. Yep. He's now signed, of course, with the Repsol for next year. Franco Morbidelli has signed with the Prima Pramac next year racing team. So he's on a Ducati next year, gets himself off a Yamaha that he doesn't like. Well, this is a huge shock in the system. Luca Marini is the fastest. Martin second, Aleix Espargaro third. Ducati, Rooney Vera 46, Ducati, Prima Pramac, Aprilia factory. Good session. I think this Indian track is delivering. It's looking quite good. Can't ignore the problems that have been round here and have resulted in it, but it's looking good. Miller is way off the pace. We're not going off air yet because there's some practice starts to come. For that, we turn over to the commentary team at TNT.
Well, they are working hard at it, so it's nice to to see that the results are coming a little bit better. Great first day for them.
Well, the Indian fans have had a treat on day one here at the Bud International Circuit. Bit of fuel top up for Luca Marini, obviously running it very lean towards the end of that session. They'll have to work hard to keep as much fuel in it, won't they, when they're sat on the grid here on off both the sprint, particularly on Sunday's race. We have the extended grid procedure because that heat will of course cause a little bit of evaporation.
But they tend to put the fuel inside the bike. They are allowed, actually. They're allowed to put the fuel a bit cooler, 15 degrees under the ambient temperature. So this is because the cooler the fuel is, the less volume it takes. So basically, the more fuel you can put inside. And with 22 liters allowed as a maximum capacity, those bikes are very thirsty. So for the race lamp, for the GP on Sunday, it does make a difference on how you can set up the fueling of the bike. The idea is that the richer the bike is, the more soft and smooth it feels, and the leaner the bike is, the more the bike is kind of nervous, and you feel like the power delivery is a little bit less smooth, and on the negative torque as well on the engine brake. So yeah, fuel consumption is a massive element of the performance for the race lamp on Sunday.
Pecco Bagnaia safely eventually negotiating. Looked like they had a couple of electronic glitches today. Be interesting to see his start now, wouldn't it? Because they weren't right earlier on today.
Now we saw 2 starts from him this morning and two loads of spin off the line. He nearly crashed actually at the first one on the grid. So yeah, they're gonna have to tune that power down a little bit with the Ducati. Ducati, we know that since Austria they use a different system to lower the bike even more to get better starts, and he's working. Pecco Bagnaia that did both 4 shots in Austria and yeah, taking some great starts. I mean, we saw this year the massive progress made by KTM.
What do you think they've done then, Ducati? What do you think?
They lower the bike more.
Because Marco Bezzecchi said, I don't have the bit that
He doesn't have it yet. He has the new
yet.
clutch, the latest clutch.
Yeah.
That they gave that to him in Le Mans, and they told us when that happened, and Bez tried it straight away on the Sunday morning in warm-up and decided to go for the race and won the race. So it was again an example to see that Ducati are supporting the customer teams. They are giving them what they can to help them, especially if they got a great potential to win the race. So you see that Ducati now, look at Pecco Bagnaia's bike, absolutely to the ground and no spinning this time.
Yeah, they've got it worked out, haven't they, on this occasion?
Yeah, that's fast.
No such problems.
Extremely fast. The Ducati.
The one problem was going to be the Aleix Espargaro running into the back of him, but Aleix managed to get the Aprilia stopped as Luca Marini now heads off from his practice start. Looked decent enough for the fastest rider on day one. Neil Hodgson is in the back of the commentary booth, getting himself into his leathers, ready for his lap of the track. In fact, he swapped his helmet out for a miners hat, so he's got the light on top of it, because as you can see, as these riders practice going out there, it's getting rather dark out there rather quickly. Obviously, longer sessions today, but also we had a big 45-minute delay at the lunch break for sorting out the marshals post, making basically sure there were enough marshals at each post. A few of them had had to go off and get some more water, so that one got sorted. Marc Marquez heading off down the back straights, just coming up to 17:33, 5:30, past 5:30 here. You're right there, Silvan. You're enjoying this. Do you feel like we've been at it quite a while today? 5 to 9 local time. We got on air this morning.
Gav, you make it up.
Nearly 9 hours. Not a bad day.
Can you guess the time they do to not to 60 on a good start? Wasn't it 1.6 that Brad Binder did? No, it's faster than that.
It was something he said that he did, wasn't it? What was it he did?
2.1.
2.1, that was one.
2.1.
2.1. Something stupid.
Yeah, they're fast. If you haven't seen, there is somewhere on social media, there's a race with Danny Pedrosa on the KTM versus a Formula One versus some rally cars.
And other stuff.
And
was it the super van that they had out there?
It's a super van as well, yeah.
That was quite sharp.
It was interesting to see just how fast. That's where you can see just how quick a MotoGP bike is. Absolutely destroyed them.
Having 2 goes at it this afternoon. They'll get out a little quicker than they did earlier on today.
Well, at least if there's an issue at turn 1, they can't say they haven't practiced.
No.
It is good. It is good. It gives them an incentive about, you know, about the braking marker, about just a bit of a practice, so you know, because obviously you're going to get to turn 1 at a very different speed than you would, you know, if you exceed the last corner. So you're going to brake later, but it gives you a little bit of a better idea.
Neil Hodgson just piping up from the back there. Back in your box. So what about Moto3?
Those bikes are different though, the GP bikes with more inertia, with more weight as well.
More gizmos.
Yeah, the problem is with a bike, a more powerful bike, a heavier bike, a bike that's got more inertia, it's a lot harder to stop. So as soon as you overcook it a little bit, like we've seen Bastianini do in Barcelona, you kind of like, for a very long time, you know you're not going to stop, and there's nothing you can do about it. As in with the little bikes, you got a little bit more margin, let's say, to you know, change direction, brake a little bit more, and a bit of a good style there by Pecco. That is for you, that, Neil.
Yeah, it's just for Jack Miller, isn't it? Absolutely. Brilliant. Having a bit of fun. We like to see it. Neil Hodgson out early.
Bagnaia getting some loads of fun out there right now. He's twisting the bike around, showing off for the cameras.
We'll report back to us later. Putting on a bit of a show for the fans. You like to see it. Well, they've been treated, haven't they? And the talk is that there will be 150,000 fans over the weekend. I hope they are able to come in tomorrow over Saturday and Sunday. If only Jack Miller was still in those colours, then what we'd have been seeing, wouldn't we? Jack down in 18th at the end of the day, 1.1 off. It was very, very tight at the end. It looked like he caught a couple of yellow flags as well. Sardozzi enjoying it. So after a few crosswords earlier, it looked like Bagnaia happy enough with how day 1 has ended. Luca Marini, what we do know about him is he'll be quite honest, won't he, afterwards? He'll say, if he doesn't think he's quite got the pace yet, he'll say, oh, it was just one.
Well, SHG just said, if I was KTM now, I would just announce Danny Pedrosa for one of the spots for next season. This is just not a great scene for them at all. I agree, it's not great, and it should be changed, it needs to be changed. Okay, that does it then for Friday here at the Bud International Circuit for the Indian Oil Grand Prix of India. We've had free practice 1 and practice coverage tomorrow. First of all, you can watch it on Twitch, delayed coverage of practice 2 and qualifying, and then it'll be streamed on YouTube. Live coverage of the Tissot Sprint and the Grand Prix, both on YouTube and on Twitch. My thanks to everybody today. After being on the air now since 3 a.m, we're very much looking forward to going off at 1 p.m. now. Thank you very much for your company. Good night. Bye-bye.